down to this international test match number 2 between WA and the English Community Lions. I'm Nick Neary. Donny Bell joins me in the commentary box this evening for what is going to be a game of vengeance. There's going to be a little bit in this tonight, Donny. Game 1 was 22-0 while you were at your wife's graduation, so you couldn't have come back at a better time to see a bit of vengeance.
Absolutely, mate. It was a cracking contest. It was really physical, but in the end, the English side were the ones that got the better of WA. They really fell away in that second half, and to be blown out 22 points to nil, they would have that'll sting WA. They've drafted in they've sent out the SOS call to some quality players that they've brought into this squad here today to try and, as you said, exact vengeance on the England Community Lions.
It's been a warm couple of days here in Perth. Over the weekend, the English Community Lions found themselves over in Rottnest. They said they enjoyed that one, but then Monday and Tuesday it's been up into the 30 degrees, cooling off to about 24 degrees, down to 22 during the middle parts of this game. So there is a little bit of relief for the English fans out there, but certainly, Donny, we've got to start looking, before we get into the anthems, at some of the key inclusions here for WA, and your man Jalen Gray's got to be top of the ticket.
Yeah, I mean, Skinny, as I said, he's one of the guys that they've sent the SOS to after sitting and watching that first game where they went down. He is very keen to get involved. He's just signed an extension with the Capras as well over in the Queensland Cup, and he is ready to rip and tear for WA. He's a WA boy through and through, and he loves pulling on the black and gold, and I'm sure he'll make a big difference in the centres for WA in both attack and defence.
Kanoa Gudgeon was away for work last week, now available for selection, and they slot him straight into fullback. Bailey Miller moves just out elsewhere onto the park, but it's a big in and probably just that bigger body they're looking to run back out a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, Gudgeon tore them apart in that Chairman's 13 game. He was the best player on the field by a country mile, and once again another player that'll make a big difference. And again, it's two players. It's the first two players we've spoken about, are guys that add points to this Western Australian team.
And that's going to be the tale of the tape tonight, is how will WA find a way to score? Couldn't get over the line in the first of these two test matches. They were in the game the entire way, and there were periods of it where they were 2-man up with 2 men from the English Community Lions in the bin, and they were still unable to get across the line. It comes down tonight of, do we play up in the face again? What will the team look to do? Delane Edwards will have a lot of questions to answer tonight, whether they will kick to corner, whether they will run hard through the middle. It just is a confusing little aspect of the game where they haven't been able to adapt to how slowly the English Lions have been able to make the passage of play throughout this series so far.
Yeah, again, though, I think there's key changes, and the key changes in key positions. We've talked about Gudgeon in at fullback. We've got Sonny Kerr comes in at halfback, and starting with Luke David Wells, Talamaveo at 9. That gives their spine a lot more direction, and should allow Delane Edwards to play a lot more of his natural game as well. Sonny Kerr's a guy that is used to playing with Delane. I don't know whether that combination between Teddy Shand and Delane worked overly well in game 1, and I think bringing Sonny Kerr back into the 7 jersey, I think again that unlocks one of their weapons. I guess the other thing is around Bailey Miller, and how does he get a roving commission as fullback, because he looked one of their most dangerous players in game 1.
It might end up being that case as the English Community Lions take the field at the moment, where Gudgeon and Miller work as a wing fullback combination, sliding across the park for each other, left and right wing. There's always a few tricks up the likes of Delane Edwards' sleeve, so we'll see how their game plans out tonight. The keys on the other side of the park, obviously Jamie Tracy, Lewis Price, Craig McShane, all working so well off their half in Jack McShane and their captain in Chris Siddons. A lot of play gets set up for these bigger, taller ball runners, and we saw Lewis Price, especially in game number 1, have a lot of success pushing through on the extremities and finding line breaks once that WA side got a little bit tired. Do you think they're going to change much tactic tonight, or have we found the blueprint for success?
Well, again, there's definitely some changes for this English side with the Leon Crellin is out of the side, so there's a few changes for the English side as well.
Down into the middle of the ground, we'll go in for the anthems, and we'll come right back with a last bit of analysis before we get this one underway. Almost set and ready to go. We go down sideline now to Ed, who was in the box with us for game one. You've been watching the preparations. What are you feeling before this one gets underway, Ed?
Hey guys, yeah, very different WA team. Watch their warm up, and there's some big changes today for them. With the English team, it looked fairly similar kind of game plan, I'd say. They're still shifting that ball around a lot and working hard on the ruck stuff. But yeah, WA team will be very different tonight. They're Gudgeon out the back and Bailey on the wing. Definitely different look, different shape, different roles. And obviously Sonny Kerr coming into 5'8". Extremely different player to Ted Shand. So be interesting to see how the big changes work.
Absolutely, you're not wrong there, Ed. We'll check in with you throughout the game. Scott Spittle's your main referee for this evening. Saw a lot of penalties, all warranted in the first 20 minutes of last week, and maybe just with a little bit of extra game management, we're going to keep the count a little bit lower tonight, but he's going to blow it if it's there, Donny.
Absolutely. Got the experienced first-grade referee into the middle. It'll be WA with first use of the ball. And here they come with the first carry, courtesy of Tommy Fry. Tudor Edwards looks like he's ready. They cut out him, go across to Delane Edwards. He runs into Siddons. He makes the tackle. Gives him a little bit of pressure on the back of the head at the end of that as well. Now Ezra Taumia, an offside penalty. WA get one early. Still fighting in the tackle. Siddons and Taumia. The boys come together early in this one, Heck, and it looks like it's going to be a fiery beginning.
Very similar start to what we saw last week. We actually got the kickoff underway this time, which is nice to see. Both sides already, you can see a little bit of intensity at the English lines. Slightly offsides, Chris Siddons, he gave away a few penalties in the warm-up game and the one previous, and it's not due to bad intentions. He just wants to impart himself on these fixtures early.
Absolutely. I think it was Jamie Tracy in the 16 that was called offside as Jalen Gray takes that first hit up. He's one of those players injected into this WA side. So come towards the middle with Taumia. Taumia's put down, so they weren't able to score any points in game one, and they've got a golden opportunity right now. Tudor Edwards goes to the line, dummies on the outside to Fry. Keeps the legs pumping. Wells Talamavayo gets the dummy half. Pass comes out to Kerr. Kerr to Gudgeon. Gudgeon short ball. Daniels towards the line. Can't get there. Desperation defence from the English. Gudgeon at dummy half. Connor Parkinson it was with the try saver. There's Kerr. Kerr gets it to the middle. Again, Taumia, he's been busy. Plays at centre field. Goes to Edwards. Edwards looks to kick that one back towards the post. And in an offside position there, Jacob Moore, and a penalty to WA. They'll have another set, but still unable to get points there, WA.
Yeah, already you can see the sliding English defence doesn't look to be frazzled early, and they certainly weren't frazzled for the full 80 last night. A whole nother set's going to ask questions. Corbin Daniels was really the one they were trying to line up on the outside for that first attacking set. We've taken the points. Gives us a second to breathe here, Donny. I was setting up for another big play.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. This is something WA had the opportunity to do in game one and didn't do it. They had 2 or 3 penalties right in front, didn't take the 2 points. England went down the other end, got a penalty, took the 2 points straight away. So this is a change in mindset straight away from the West Australian team.
We'll see you on the outside again. When we look at the rest of the play over the replays after we pretty much guarantee this one going under, with the experience of Jalen Gray taking the boots early here. Looks like Corbin Daniels, there's a lot of communication around him on the outside lines. They were trying to set him up nicely, and then he almost held his run. He was stopped half a metre out from the line, but it looks like he even held himself up. Just looking for that last little bit of commitment out of WA to crash over. Still 2 points on offer in front here.
Great, he should knock this one over. Moves in, pilots it between the sticks as expected. And WA have their first points of this series. And they lead this one 2-0, 3.5 minutes gone.
Ed's sideline, the energy's pretty good down there tonight. I mean, looks like the crowd are filled in up on the far side.
Yeah, I'd say the number of English is slightly higher, so they obviously liked what they saw last time. But the energy on the WA bench is definitely a lot more positive. They're getting into the boys and loved that set. Shape looked good. I think they were happy with everything in the build-up. And yeah, definitely interesting that they went for the 2 this week instead of learnt some lessons from last week.
Absolutely. No tee out there. We'll wait to get back underway here at the home of the North Beach Sea Eagles. Another beautiful night here in Perth. Deep right kickoff. Come from the fences.
Tommy Fry again with the carry back as you get that deja vu feeling. But this time they go the blind side with the second play. Goes to White. Just hitting that crash line, and that's what I like to see from him. I think they've used him as a bit of bash and barge, as now they find some space down the side with Woolley. Now into Gudgeon. Gudgeon back to White. White looking for support and dragged down from behind by Jack McShane. The ball comes free. But again, enterprising play from Western Australia, and Kanoa Gudgeon with his fingerprints all over it.
Already 2 passes involved from him, just happy to keep the ball alive. That's the little injection they're after. And does really beg the question, where does Bailey Miller fit in? Because now Gudgeon, after the back of that first 2 plays, he's not leaving fullback all night.
No, you wouldn't think so. He's got some experience on the wing, and gives us a couple of tall, rangy wingers as the ball comes free, and a penalty to England now. Well, he gave away the first penalty, Jamie Tracy, and he's earned his side the second one.
He's always involved the big ball runner. He's actually got quite a big tank for a big unit. He certainly ran out the practice game and the first game in this series pretty well. Happy to see the big unit getting involved in all aspects, even though there's a lot of whistle around him.
Yeah, Prescott, one of the additions to this side on the wing. Throws the pass in, and now Denny Rouse. This will apparently be Denny Rouse's last game. They're retiring at the end of this game.
No Harmony Nines?
Well, yeah, this will be his last official game. I think he'll play in the Nines, but yeah, he's basically announced his retirement on the social medias.
What a place to do it as Ben Shulver took the previous into the line, and England start to get into their work out on the left. Jack McShane wants to keep going that way. Good flat ball from Rouse. A couple cuts back on the inside. Nowhere really to go for Dearden. Still in a good attacking position here on 4th. English Community Lions look for Tracy in the middle again. Last, they're virtually all set out to the right-hand side of screen. Weir takes it himself. Good flat ball, one-on-one out wide. They crack back. They're almost there. Lewis Price, who's fumbling around for half a second, got a double on Thursday night. And he looks pretty good early again as well.
Yeah, moving into the centres here today. Played out on the picket swing in game 1, and moves one in. So he gets an opportunity there. He showed good footwork. He always looks dangerous with every touch, but WA up to the task there. The tackle made by Tommy Fry as Miller comes in for a carry. Looking to go hunting for some work, because used to playing fullback and having to get through an absolute mountain of it, so he won't be shy of going looking for some of the pill. Now Jalen Gray swung around onto his back. just struggling to get out of their own end, and England again just holding down in the ruck a little bit too long. Quick tap, and they get on with it. Gray runs over the top of one, had his back turned.
I think it was just the eye contact with the referee when he looked back to ask to be moved. He said, "Don't ask, I'm just going to blow you straight away."
Again, we've seen that in the first couple of games. In particular, the first game against the chairman's side, I heard the referee on a number of occasions say, "Don't look at me." Didn't penalise him for it, but said it a number of times. So that's back-to-back penalties now to WA. Just flopping in late and staying there too long. And I know you mentioned that it's been a tactic that the English have employed throughout this series.
Well, I just don't think they have a separate tactic in the bed, because this one hasn't really been foiled. They've been happy to accept the penalty, happy to be marched, and trust that with the pace off the game, they can limit the scoreboard damage. And if we're not going to the bin, they're happy to keep playing with it for now.
Well, now WA with another point. Another opportunity to get their first try of the series as it comes across to Tudor Edwards. McShane up in his face quickly. He bounces away from a couple, but not many more metres on offer. Fryer's in the flat. They go with the short and out the back now to Kerr. Kerr dummies on the outside to White and takes the tackle. No one falling for the show and go of Sonny Kerr. Gudgeon inside pass, crawling towards the try line. Can't quite get there. White will be forced to play it. Now underneath, and they're trying to barge their way over now, Western Australia. They're over the line. Can they get the ball to the ground? Held up. Well, again, good desperation defence from the English Community Lions. Tudor Edwards will go back 10 metres to play it.
Great control of the tackle the whole way down. They could read the barge from a mile away. Lewis Price wrapped up the ball, rolled over the top. Chance again. Out wide, runner's not going to get there in time. Ryan Woolley's about 8 yards off pace. There's an open corner to run into. 10 minutes gone, still 2-0. The NRL WA side currently on top of the English Community Lions.
You might go down to Ed with that one. Ed, the pass there to Woolley not in position, was that just a lack of communication from WA on that short side?
I think they were just they were set up. He was not set up for what he was thinking. Kainoa Gudgeon is going to play off the cuff a lot, and that could be they've not played together before. So Ryan trying to get in tune with the way Kainoa plays takes time, and they've obviously only had a few days since the last game. So the idea was right, but the shape was wrong. I just want to add with the ruck work stuff, guys. The English did it, and after they got sin-binned and penalised, they kept doing it last week. And I think the goal there was to maybe rattle the WA side and get them to lose their train of thought and start making bad decisions, because that might be what they witnessed against Victoria when WA were beaten. And it worked. So tonight, they probably won't change tack, but it's up to WA not to react.
Price, first one running out of the line. Gudgeon gets the ball off a weird bounce, surrenders under his own feet. He's been involved in every attacking piece of play for WA so far and sure looks good.
He does love a weird bounce too. It's, a player chasing out of the line as well. I mean, that's what he lives for. And he just doesn't break them open on that occasion. But if they do race up and try and take time away from him, he'll pull their pants down at some stage here tonight.
Good defensive efforts by Jamie Tracy again. A big number 16 for the Lions. Comes out of the line all the time. This one's been paddled backwards, forwards. Should be WA ball by the looks of the umpire. Just taking an age to send an arm out in any direction for us, though. English Lions ball.
So the call is WA knock on first. I thought it was slapped down by Denny Rouse, the 7. Let's see if the replay shows anything. It looks like he hung an arm out.
Certainly fishing.
They must be ruling that he didn't get a touch. Knocked on WA and then knocked on it on the ground by England. So they get the ball. Maybe one going the English side's way. There's now the two-try hero Price. Gets it back to McShane. McShane dangerous as well. Shows that good footwork, stepping off the left. Fights in the tackle, and WA have got 4 in there to slow him down. England wanting a reciprocal penalty after conceding a couple. Short pass to Shulver. He's put down a bit of a leg pull there from Kerr. Goes across to Price. Price again stepping back in field. Parkinson seeing very little ball on that right wing so far as Weir again goes the short pass to Tomlinson. He gets the pass around the corner. And WA there with Gray coming up with a big defensive play. They work down that side again. Racing up out of the line, Delane Edwards takes time away from Denny Rouse and forces the error.
It's pretty crucial. It's a risky shoot. Obviously Delane Edwards knows when to go, but it's a risky shoot. Came up one man inside. Any flat ball would have been an overlap. He's managed to cause the disruption in the nick of time here. Great work getting up in the face. Danny Rouse, well, he won't regret too much about that. Just got done on a good day.
And we see Gray in there doing what Gray does, just stirring the pot a little bit and trying to get under the skin of the opposition. There's a penalty to England here. So they're going to take the two and try and level this one up. So it must have been offside there, Delane Edwards. He's gone early.
Be a good chance to level this one up. It'll hurt the WA boys as well, that any sort of advantage you get from 2-0 just wiped away instantly. This one's going to go deep into the Charles Riley car park.
Because from a penalty kick, the ball is live. So you see the Western Australian side just acknowledging that and spreading out across the line. As if does get the ricochet off the post, it would be an embarrassing way to concede a try. But you expect him to knock this one over. Rouse moves in, raises the flags, and we're locked up. It's 2-2. 15 minutes gone here at Charles Riley.
Well, it was a very good kicking display he had on Thursday night. 5 from 5, 2 from the far corner, and really served one up to the home crowd after they really wanted him to miss his final kick of the night. Slotted it well. I think he was going to miss it 9 times out of 10 if the crowd wasn't giving it to him, and they just convinced him otherwise to really pay attention for once. He's a good kicker of the footy though, Danny Rouse. Like his low, compact action. Waits all in front of the ball. Set and ready to go again, all tied up.
Kick has gone out on the full. Well, he's put too much curry on that one as Gray. All that field to aim for, and he misses a lot of it.
Big coach killers. Saw the Lions as well in game one. Had their troubles with their own kickoffs as well. Can't be giving up these errors. Not in big games like this. That's a decent kick. Going to settle 15, 20 metres out. It'll be Lewis Price just taking the first one up into the line pretty smartly. Lions tend to set up most of their play from the left-hand side of the ground, so they'll take a couple tackles getting over there. Ends up in the hands of Ben Shulver under the sticks. Penalty. Never really getting back by the looks of things against Gudgeon. Just covering the mouth with his hand even. Gives the English Lions another chance. Very close to the goal line. Full set of 6 here. Nice work in the back line. Trying to weave their way through Shulver again. Jack McShane waits patiently. Edwards is really early on the outside. Doesn't make any real effect on the tackle. This one's held up and will be another penalty offside. No, still just tackle. He did have a secondary whistle. My apologies. McShane goes left-hand side. Shulver skipped out really wide for Dearden. Tries to get underneath. Only half a yard and he stays down a little bit. Jake Dearden just feeling it in the rib cage. And we're going to get time off. We might go down sideline. to Ed. This has been some good defence from WA. I mean, they've conceded the penalty, but no more.
Yeah, off that tap post the long kick-off, the line speed was really poor, so I was a bit worried about the attitude there. They hadn't reacted to the mistake off the kick-off, but they definitely improved that there. I know they're giving away a few penalties, but they're definitely getting off the line and in the face of the English. There was a chance to finish that there when the ball went over the top. We were sort of left in no man land, so the scramble got there, and on 2 occasions on the right side they've actually had a man over, which they've not executed either. So
very fair.
Opportunities there for the English, they've just not taken them yet, and hopefully they fix them.
Thank you very much. It just looks on the replay there. It doesn't look malicious at all, but Dwayne Edwards does get over the top and make a bit of contact. It's not really clear where he actually gets contact from the angle that we had on replay. It certainly shows I did and has remained down for a period of time.
The vision might not tell the story, but
Yeah.
Jake Dearden staying down and showing some effects might give you some indication as to where the contact was. I don't think he's playing for a penalty or hoping the bunker's going to intervene. So I think he's in some distress. Hopefully he's able to come back onto the field. It will require some sort of reshuffle. But Connor Taylor on their bench for this game, didn't play in the last game. I thought he was unlucky not to play. I thought he was really good against the Chairman's 13. I'd imagine he might be the player to come on.
Yeah, that's Connor Taylor just running on there.
Oof, set and ready to go again. Quick tap taken by the Lions and not watching underneath their own toes. WA, we're going to need to see this on replay. They have absolutely snuck in on the far side, 6-2 in the 18th minute. Take a look who even is it over there. Jacob Moore, I believe, with ball in hand, waiting for a signal.
I think it's Jack McShane.
Just rolls underneath. Some pretty lazy defence there by Jalen Gray. The big in allows the inside shoulder to be absolutely operated on. 6-2 with a kick to come, with the informed kicker Danny Rouse to take it.
Well, I mean, he's caught everyone sleeping there. Even the commentators were
no call. Absolute no call.
We were still waiting for the play to begin again, and all of a sudden they're celebrating a try. So, yeah, very, very crafty work. I mean, that's what you want from your 9, isn't it? A guy that just sees when everyone is, sleeping on the guy with the ball in his hands.
We're going to probably have to go after this kick back down to Ed, because it's a big thing of attitude that he's been speaking about in the recent couple of days, and even in the broadcast tonight about attitude. They've missed the kickoff, and then they haven't paid attention to their own roll ball off the back of 2-3 minutes of time off. Rouse in now. Not his cleanest kick of all. And just goes out to the left-hand side this time. Yeah, Ed, we speak about attitude, and off the back of that kickoff, they don't bounce back. They're not paying attention on the line at all.
No, well, I think I was getting back to you guys. The number 20 had come on, which Connor Taylor, which was predicted right, and I was watching him run on when they scored the try. So, unfortunately, looks like our defenders on the right edge did the same thing.
Tricky now. Still only a 4-point margin. Tom Fry's going to send this one nice and deep, safely in the field of play. Danny Rouse looking for that link-up run in Tracy. Settles this set back underneath.
Well, one thing I did notice there is Jalen Gray's been sacked from kick-off duty.
Yeah.
That was Sonny Kerr kicking that one off.
Just settling in the middle of the ground, Jacob Moore. Try works through half a gap on the outside. Haven't seen too much hard ball running from Captain Siddons so far in this game. Expect it to come soon. Big central run, Ben Shulver, who has done a mountain of work early. Down the short side. And they try grubber on through from Jack McShane. Gudgeon cleans up pretty nicely at the back, but brought into Danny Rouse's shoulders. And plays on his own 35.
We sure saw some urgency there from the English chase, just to make sure they got up there and were all in a straight line, because they saw what happened in their first tour game if they give him a staggered line. So now Bailey Miller comes in for a carry. Wells Talamaveo to dummy half. Now Gray looking to make up for a couple of his errors. It was defensively for the first try as well as kicking the ball out on the full from the kickoff. Miller another carry. Right in the centre of the field on tackle 5. Edwards, he's going to try a little banana kick, chasing through his curve, but McShane well positioned, beats the first chaser. Tudor Edwards gets hold of him, tries to drag him back into the in-goal. Referee said that's far enough. Onesimo Takakakabau's out there as well. As White comes up with a shot there on Lewis Price. Now Parkinson. So just like WA had their outside backs coming in to take some pressure off the forwards in the last set, the English doing the same. Well, Jamie Tracy says, I still want to carry in this set. Met solidly by Wells Talamaveo and also Gray. Siddons has the arm free. Can't get the offload away though. Plays it back to McShane. And Weir's going to kick from inside his 40. And he's put one out on the full. Well, that was a good defensive set from Western Australia. And it's finished with one going out on the full, and now WA will go on the attack.
A couple of subs will do that to you sometimes, Donny. Takakakabau comes up into the line, makes that first tackle, and then works really tightly with Tudor Edwards, and you saw the communication the whole way back. This is a good set of 6 that's about to come up. Takakakabau gets his first touch of the ball tonight. Rolling into first and second and third tackle here. Tom Fry gets a chance on the outside shoulder, still left-hand side favoured. Tudor Edwards wants to cut back, just gets the palm off on Weir, but can't get too much further. He's done that a couple times tonight. Now Gudgeon starts to get with a little bit of movement out to this left. They're stacking it deep. Instead they go cut out short. Woolley tries to beat them all, goes to the corner. Gee, that's all on timing. He slammed the ball down, penciled up vertical. And it looked pretty good. We're going to have to get a big replay. A camera 3 could be best on early again for Local Media Services team, but they're waiting on a call on the far side.
Well, touch judge Shirai get a one on that side. He was happy with the put down. What's the leap here? Woolley, McShane throws everything into it. Put down, spectacular from Ryan Woolley. I tell you, head Easter down on the sideline. You might have had the best view of all there.
When he went airborne, I can't exactly see where he landed because there was a few bodies in the way. I know Ben Shulver's definitely pointing at a big tuft in the grass, and that's outside the line. But one thing impressive there, when Ryan Woolley got the ball, there wasn't really a lot on. He's absolutely skinned his winger there. 2 feet forward and then stepped him and gassed him. So very impressive. I presume he's got it down. Everyone seems pretty confident.
6-all, kick to come from the corner here. Good chance for this WA side to go back in front in test match number 2. That's an absolute stinker.
That's the kindest explanation or description of that kick, I think. But we see again, and that's exactly what Ed talked about. Connor Parkinson just gets stood up.
Look at the stiffness of the left leg as he goes to hop as well. He knew exactly where the impact was coming.
That replay's fantastic. Shows it perfectly. The put down. The team here at Local Media Services Company doing a marvellous job.
Good game brewing here. 6 apiece, 25 minutes into the first half. After a 22-0 defeat in game 1, WA are back, scoring their first try of this series. And again, you might also put it down to Kanoa Gudgeon, who was motioning left-hand side, so the defence might have stayed interior. Thought that was going to be a turnover with a bit of time off. No, but we're going to get English line straight away. No tackles coming back up the centre of the ground. As I was going to say, Donny, Gudgeon was motioning left side, and traditionally you'd think that first pass would go to him back door, then maybe wingers. Instead, the defence probably recognised it, stay tight, and the long ball, which was still a one-on-one that had to be won by Ryan Woolley, was very well done, but it got the defence in all sorts for the first time this series.
Now the English looking to strike straight back, but they've come up with the error. Well, they've traded mistakes there, WA. comes up with one, and then on first tackle, the England Community Lions, they look to put on a set play. The short ball there to Jacob Moore hits the deck, and they'll hand over possession straight away.
Huge sigh of relief. Massive sigh of relief for WA. Just got to put together another set. Count on Bailey Miller. Looks like he's been keen to get some more ball, wants to get involved again here on the outside. Instead used as a dummy for first tackle. Nowhere really for Gray to go. Wins the penalty though, just that extra little shove as he already got to his feet. Forced laterally backwards about 30 centimetres, and that was enough for Spittles to get involved.
Yeah, it's definitely a 50-50 one. He played the ball. It was all okay. He was trying to impose some physicality, but yeah, as you say, Gray was on his feet after that second shove, so fair enough. So another penalty puts WA down in English territory. It's Tudor Edwards. He's got Fry on his outside, but just tries to set a platform. Wants a quicker play the ball than he's allowed by Siddons. Now Kerr goes to Gudgeon. Gudgeon dummies. Good contact again, not falling for any dummies there, Lewis Price. Sheehan's out onto the park in 13. He's looking to the short side. They go open. Tudor Edwards again dummying on the outside, preferring to take the contact himself on 5. Sheehan to dummy half. Kerr's out to the right. They go to the left. It's with Gudgeon. Gudgeon's going to put one up for Woolley. Woolley gets up, gets hands to it, but over the sideline. Couldn't come down with it there, Ryan Woolley, but he certainly won the aerial battle. And, well, it's actually been ruled off the English.
And struck while the iron's hot, trying to go 2 for 2, and there's a good hand in there from Parkinson, but I think it was more just trying to disrupt than anything. He wasn't actually trying to take any possession. Could be 50-50 either way.
The touch judge is right on top of it.
Don't mind that kick by Gudgeon either. Delan Edwards just one on the outside, expecting him to go grubbering through. Instead, a nice little pop over the top. Really looking to press this English defence wide. Gudgeon just tries to get free of a couple and does. Held onto the bootlaces by Rouse, but wasn't able to be brought to ground. Eventually he'll have to surrender under all of this. Lost that word entirely. Edwards getting to work on the outside, organising later parts of the play. Gray goes to ground. Takakakabau first receiver here. 3 involved from the Lions to stop him. Chris Siddons, the main one, wrapped around the ball. Now a good chance set out really deep on the left-hand side, running on nicely. Daniels trying to get free, could put his head down and have a look. Instead, 4 involved in the tackle. Nicely done there to position themselves, Lewis Price and all, forcing this one back 3 or 4 metres and buying 4 or 5 seconds of time. Tudor Edwards, once again solo, trying to do it all himself. Sets up on 5th, short side, flat ball for Woolley again. Straight through into the line, got cut off by Tyler Moau. Thought it was going to make its way for another one-on-one with Woolley and Parkinson, but instead Tyler Moau cuts through the line sharply. 10-6 with a kick to come. This is good heads-up footy down the short side from WA.
Well, fantastic play, and I think it's Brendan White who's switched into jersey 11. But, I mean, that is exactly what he is great at. He is the best line runner in Western Australia. He is a fantastic edge running forward. He hits that hole. I think there might be some complaints there of Corbin Daniels maybe obstructing some of the English defence, but it falls on deaf ears. It's a great line from White as he goes over. Makes it 10-6, kick to come. WA back in front.
Ed down on the sideline with 10 minutes to go until we get to half-time. There's no alarm bells out there, but there's certainly a good game of footy brewing, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. I think just structurally, thinking about last week, having Tudor Edwards in the lock role has made a really big difference in the way we're shipping the ball around. It's given the halves a lot more time than they had last week. And there's a few subs just ready to go on for the English. They did walk down there a little bit ago, but they didn't get the ball back, obviously, so they couldn't make those subs. There's a few tired leg tackles in the middle there, which WA have sort of rolled on forward with. So great score from them, great pressure. But yeah, 2 subs coming on now. We've got Philbin and I think Glenn coming on. So 2 big tough guys down the middle. So they might want to try and make an impact off this kickoff.
Just a little bit of wind down here at Charles Riley this evening, pushing that one out to the left-hand side of the uprights. Take a look at the flat ball once again. Parkinson really was between 2 men. Hadn't really picked either side of it, but it was a tough decision to make and didn't think that ball was going to come so quick, so flat.
Yeah, on that replay, I'm going to call it a defensive decision from Ben Shulver. No obstruction. It's a kickoff. That's hung up in the air. There's going to be a contest for this one. Oh! Come up with it with Glenn. Now that's Holgate, rather, with his first involvement in the game. Now with Siddons. Well, the English, a chance to once again level this game up after the inventive kickoff. Holgate goes across to Rouse. Rouse underneath to Philbin. He's a big unit we saw in the first game on tour. He'll look to make his presence felt. They go from dummy half, trying to catch WA asleep again. Now it's Glenn to dummy half. He fires it to Rouse. Rouse, he goes in behind his own man, fires the long pass. Bailey Miller gets up and shuts that down. They go down a short side now. Prescott gets it out. And it'll be a try to Denny Rouse in the corner. Well, it was the winger that made that tackle. The WA defence didn't make the adjustment, and England locked this up 10-all, kick to come.
Yeah, they really did all the hard work defensively that entire set. And just that last lapse in judgment, really good little scoop blindside. I mean, really good play from the English Community Lions to stay on with high pressure all the way through the set. But WA, you're kicking yourselves once again. 5 really good tackles of hard work. Just letting it slip at the final hurdle. Ellison Holgate, that beautiful kick receive in the middle of the ground, ends up in points. And Donnie, as you said, this has been quite the story. We saw it in the pre-warm-up game, and we didn't get to see any rider replies in game number 1, but the English Lions, they seem to find a way within 1-2 minutes every time to score back at the moment. They're a real tail upside.
Well, again, I mean, that kickoff wasn't an accident, wasn't a fluke. That was recognising the conditions, using the breeze to their advantage. They put it up high and allowed it to blow straight back to them. No one from WA was in position or expecting that sort of kickoff, and it's just clever rugby league from the English.
So this is a pretty much carbon copy that the 5th and final kick Danny Rouse had in front of the crowd last Thursday night. See if he can replicate the efforts here, but yeah, there's a lot more breeze around this evening, and it's pushing this one away from the goal face itself, so it has to go just inside left upright. With a bit of extra juice on it. It's a hard kick.
Cash converters, Toblerone getting some extra time there. Pushed out of the way. Right on the sideline. He's in, puts it up and waved away, and we remain locked at 10-all, Nick.
Really interesting second half going to build. Well, it was a bit more biff in game 1 between these two sides, and I think we're going to see a hard first 10-15 minutes of the second half where these teams are going to throw a little bit of niggle around, because you're going to have to break the other team mentally if you're going to win tonight by the looks of things.
Well, I mean, we've got, you talk about the second half, we've still got 5 or so minutes left in this first half. This could be a really important last 5 minutes. It will be Philbin to bring it back, and that was an impressive catch there from the English. Down on their line. Holgate. The runner had gone past him, so he has to take the carry himself. Didn't quite execute that the way it was drawn up. So now Prescott, he goes across with Parkinson. Going across field, runs into the clutches of Edwards and Gray. Now they'll come back towards the middle. Put down 40 out from their own line. And they'll look to put it down the other end. A bit of a juggle there from Rouse. Gets it wider out to Shulver. Shulver, he goes through the other side. Well, WA raced up looking to put pressure on the kick and left a bit of space out wider. So the kick's now going to be in a decent position. Weir, he goes to the line. Uses his speed, gets to the outside of Kerr. The pass back into Parkinson. Parkinson forces one out the back to Holgate. Back to Weir. Weir's got some room in front of him. He dives down and hits the grass. And that's a restart to the tackle count. So now the English with a chance to take the lead with Shulver. He'll play the ball back to Holgate. Holgate looks out to the left and it goes to Glenn. Glenn steps off the left. Had Philbin outside him, doesn't use him. Now Siddons. Siddons goes inside pass to Holgate. That's read well. Gets an offload away though. Back to Glenn. Glenn is held up. Down low, Takakakabau. And now a slow play the ball. Siddons, short ball, Philbin. He's going to be hard to stop from close range, and over he goes. And that's that short interchange of passing from the English forwards that has caused the Western Australians all sorts of headaches.
I think the whole length of the field as well, when we go through every single tackle, the leg drive post contact from every English Lions player shows on the try scoring itself, and every carry they've made their way up the ground with, there's a real desperation to keep driving through the WA line. And if you throw that extra tackle count in, well, they managed to walk the entire length of the field, and dangerous times as we approach the halfway mark. 14-10 kick to come. Ed down on the sideline. Is there a chance for one more score? Can WA get back before half-time?
Well, I'd fear before half-time there may be another English one if they react to that extra set of 6 there. It didn't seem a strange call. I couldn't see where the contact had come from the WA boys, but their reaction wasn't good enough. But a couple of really powerful runs from Shulver there, and just generally this English crew before those subs went on, including Hyam and Philbin, the scorer, they're just a confidence about what those boys were about to bring. They just let their chests out, and I think that's definitely been what's happened on the field there.
Closing in on what is almost a point a minute this tour. Rouse will add the extra 2 quite nicely this time. Now 16 points to 10. The English Community Lions lead NRL WA stateside. Man, Donny, that's got to be, well, they've brought up the 50 points for the tour so far. They're doing it pretty well. Normally it takes an attacking unit a while to start piecing things together once they land in a country, but you'd be worried about the Harmony Nines on the weekend when they really click together.
Oh, absolutely. They can. They've shown some attacking flair in the 13-a-side game. So when it gets to 9s, there's a mistake. Well, you called for WA to strike back, and now they've got 90 seconds to try and do exactly that.
Could feel Jalen Gray charging down after that kickoff. Put a little bit of fear into the English receive. Never had his arms under it. He was always feeling that something was coming his way.
Kieran Prescott, he could hear those footsteps coming.
1 minute until we get to half-time. WA's big chance to level this one up.
It's a big minute in the context of this game as Sheehan, they go across field, the ball hits the deck, it's kicked backwards, that is sloppy as it gets. It's on the boot from England now and goes into touch.
Just not what they needed at all. Gudgeon tries to keep this alive as long as he can, but it's really risky the way he was opting to grubber softly backwards, not grubbering out entirely. Almost ends in a double error, but managed to hold on. English ball, now reverse situation. 30 seconds on the clock and a chance to put one in the corner right on the siren for half time. Little shuffle, 2 out. Nothing there for Philbin early. Find him later in the set maybe as well. The big man does win a penalty. Crucially, could take the 2. Instead, they tap and go underneath. Holgate pushes away from the first. Might need to speak to his captain at half-time. It was a prime opportunity to go 8 points up leading into the break. Nice and easy. Now the Lions need to realise it's last. Siddons gets tackled across onto ground. Siren will sound any second here. Holgate tries to play 2 out. Glenn goes underneath. Ellison Holgate again. Goes from the base. Takakakabau slips off and really close to the line. Ellison Holgate's going to get awarded a try, and what is just a couple of moments before the siren should sound, 20 points to 10. And that's 2 errors from WA that have really let them slip into what is now a possible 12-point margin as we enter the halftime break, Donny.
Well, I think Ellison Holgate, he might be forgiven by his captain. I think he was the one that took the quick tap. And, well, they had the opportunity to go 8 up, and he said, you know what, 10, 12 up, that's better than 8. So he's made the right call, and it's another try from dummy half. It was some pretty ordinary defence, it must be said, from WA, just slipping off tackles. It was tired defence at the end of the half, and just showing that maybe a little bit of conditioning has slipped since the end of the Western Australian season.
I think even maybe defensively now Bailey Miller has to maybe be a look at fullback. In attack, let Gudgeon run free. Bailey Miller might need to come in. He's a very good last line of defence. There'll be lots of discussions from WA at half-time. This for 12 points. Easy as you like there from Danny Rouse. Only missed 1 kick in these 2 matches so far. Well, looks like the players are still making their way back to halfway, which means we might have just missed a time off. That's okay. There's the siren now finally, so no need to amble on anymore. 10-22, the halftime score. Donny, actually, before we go to you, we'll go down to Ed with your little thoughts as the teams both go into their huddles.
Well, look, definitely the English boys are finishing the half strong there. It's a bit of a killer for WA when they score at the end there. Holgate was absolutely superb last game, and all his decision-making around that ruck was perfect. They rotated their subs a little bit after us, and I think that showed in that last 5 minutes. Our boys who'd come on from the bench had just struggled with some contact there. That was a poor effort by Tagithaki Bal, and I think it was Gudgeon as well involved. It was a very weak try. It was the reaction to the bad scrum from WA. There's all a few red flags there for Delane Edwards to try and solve with this half-time chat. The Englishmen, that's just their body language seemed really positive then. They were happy with how it went. They were a bit frustrated with the Ryan Woolley try, but they accepted it as an individual piece of magic there. And the other try we scored was the pass to White was outstanding. So they were good tries, but generally they've been happy. They've offset no sin bins. They're playing against a more composed WA side, it appears.
Thank you very much.
They've stuck to their processes, and they're up.
Thank you very much, Ed. We've got to go off to a break now. We'll be right back with some more thoughts on the first half and come back in and wrap up this 2-game international test series right after this. Welcome back. Second half just about to get underway in this second test match between WA and the English Community Lions. It was dominance late in the half. In the final 5 minutes, Donny, you almost went absolutely to the moon and back as soon as your mic went off there. A very controlled, good scoreline turned into a very poor one for WA late.
Well, absolutely. I mean, 10 minutes before half-time, Western Australia had fought hard. They got to a 10-6 lead. They led 10-6. 10 minutes before half-time, they go to the sheds down 22 points to 10. That last 10 minutes, completely unacceptable. And looking at without actually being in that huddle, it looked like Delane Edwards might have been trying to get that message across. He looked filthy and ready to come out here and show us his skills here tonight, because he does not want to go down in this game.
There's a steely look of determination across his face now, and signals to his boys all across the park to get up on this one. Logue rubbering kickoff, flirting with the sidelines, but eventually picked up by Kieran Prescott. Able to settle in underneath. Big first defensive set. Expect there to be 1 or 2 blow-ups in this opening 10 minutes because both teams want this. Danny Rouse just get taken in behind the line. The goal kicker himself has been good with ball in hand so far. Short side, take a look around. Nice work by Takakakabau, out of the line to make the tackle. Needs to make amends for his late defensive efforts after coming off the bench. Gets involved again, just with a little shoulder. Helping out Sheehan, involved first up in the tackle. Parkinson to the line at halfway. Both sides of the field an option right now for the Lions. They go deep, early release on the kick. It's going to give Gudgeon his first real open space of the evening to decide where he wants to run. Left, no real hole there, and a good first set by England.
Yeah, an interesting kickoff from WA, just raking one across the ground, hoping to get an unkind bounce. But England get through that set, and the boot of Denny Rouse getting them down the other end. He does love to try and hit the belly of the ball and make it difficult for the back three, but that one taken comfortably by Gudgeon, and just going back through the middle of the ruck. Ryan Woolley earns a penalty. You see Scott Spittle's just saying you've got to go to the side. You can't go straight back over the top. So an opportunity for WA. They need to take all their chances in this second half, trailing by 12. Tap and go. And Gray will be put down. Edwards into dummy half. As again, a bit of push and shove between Gray and his opposite number, Dearden. The referee stepped in, and now they've come from everywhere. Edwards is in there. And again, it's gone over to the sideline.
Looks to be simmering on all accounts. Expected a little bit of this. Both number 4s, both looking to inject themselves on the game, and they've got the attention of all 26 players out there.
We'll be interested to see which way this one goes, because the push and shove started between Gray and Dearden. See which one is ruled as the instigator by the officials. The touch judge will have a say in this one, because Scott Spittles wouldn't have been keeping his eyes on that. Not calling anyone out, just having a chat to the captains. And it's going to be a penalty to England, so it's going against Gray, just pushing out at the marker and in an attacking position gives away an important penalty.
Hasn't been the biggest in tonight, as much as you were hoping for tonight, Jalen Gray, Donny.
He does play close to the line, but yeah, so far tonight he's detracted more than he's added. But plenty of time left for him to put a stamp on this contest.
Still just paying off a little bit of the principal and interest on the loan to get him into the side, and maybe they'll get a dividend in a year or two. Just trying to cut back inside the lines. Once more, trying to fish something out of it, Parkinson. And lost forward. Was that the big man, Andy Philbin? Yeah, it sure was. Just losing it forward at a very costly time. Gives WA another opportunity. Before it gets too hot, Ed, we might come down to you quickly. Did you get into that WA huddle at halftime?
No, mate, I stayed away. It looked far too serious for me. There was definitely disappointment in the way they finished that set, so it's just getting back to focusing on how they started the game and staying composed, which obviously didn't happen then with Jalen Gray doing that shove afterwards, falling for the niggle that was more apparent in the first game, so they need to fix that up.
Looked to settle through the centre of the ground. Edwards took the first carry. They worked through a couple sets of hands, and now Smith finds himself under the sticks. Kakabau gets us even closer. 10 metres out directly in front. A little bit to play with here. Sheehan wants to go out on the left-hand side. A little flat ball falls into the arms of Talmea. Wants to get and play relatively quickly. Gray has to go a little bit deeper. Gudgeon was holding on the shoulder for an inside ball. Really slow to get up this time. Last, Gudgeon's ball goes flat, gets onto the grass, falls behind a few more. Daniels back with the flight, just flicks it off in the nick of time. All the way into the corner, going to have to throw it back in is Woolley. Still alive, could be lost forward, will be not able to finish it off there, Brandon White, because it's been lost forward.
Brendan White optimistically claiming that was a kick from Sonny Kerr when he dropped the ball. I think you'd have to be pretty one-eyed to get away with that. You see the pass in from Woolley. Chucks it down onto his foot.
It does get to his foot quite nicely.
The Billy Slater rule, I think we call that one. Now England, an opportunity for them to bring it out of their own end. Getting out of dummy half goes Price. He's held up. Gray involved in the tackle, along with Dwayne Butler. Now McShane, he goes for a little run out of dummy half, but the line speed from WA good on a Simo Takakakabau. And again, trying to push Jalen Gray away. This could go... Well, that could have gone either way. I thought that could have gone in favour of WA, the way that he threw the marker away there, McShane.
Take another look at it. On the fuel to go and play a replay. They're both engaged for a long time, and the action does come from Craig McShane, but maybe you just go against... Jalen has been in the umpire's eye all night and goes again.
Yeah, I think that might be that might be the case. He's in the crosshairs of the man with the whistle. Now the English, they go towards the middle. We've got a player with no number out there at the moment.
He played well last week too, and I still don't know who it is. Philbin wins another penalty centre of the ground. 2 in. So now they're just getting marched down the field, gifting an opportunity, Danny Rouse, to get pretty deep in territory. This from 48. All the way up to, we'll see where the touch judge ends up, call it 25.
We've got Ed down on the sideline. He speaks English. Maybe he can go and have a chat to them and work out who the bloke with no number is.
I think he only speaks broken English, not real English. The accent's a mockery. Flat ball for Shulver. They've got a little bit intent about them. Short side, they'll have a little look. Trying to dice through a couple. Lewis Price hasn't really had that open run that he found on Thursday night last week. Deep ball. Now they play with it a little better. Craig McShane, inside switch. Doesn't really find anything of opportune value. So Moore will just play. 15 out. Short side. McShane goes inside again. Fifth and last. Siddons will slowly get to his feet, because we've got a player down on the outside.
Jared Smith just laid Denny Rouse out after that pass. He sat him down and he did not miss.
Just checking the back of the neck with him nicely as well. Straight onto it, the trainer. So it'll be fifth and last. Left-hand side of the field set up. Now we go. Short side. McShane. Little left-right foot. Nothing really in it. We end the set of 6 quite neutrally deep in WA territory. Gray tries to Goosey. Gets sent backwards, so gets an arm free. Miller trying to get through a couple of metres. Refusing to give up any space early. He's hurt his right ankle here, Bailey Miller. See if he stretch it out. Bad pass, loose at the back. Still alive, lost forward WA. Just can't seem to bring it together at all in this second half so far. 8 minutes gone. They've given the ball up 3 times to have another repeat set for the English Lions from right in front.
Look at the intensity here from the Lions. They've turned up the heat on Western Australia, and they don't like the temperature, WA. They do not like it out there at the moment. They are feeling the heat, and they are wilting right now.
Certainly some words between the camps have been brewing, and right now you've got to say the English are winning their first smack-talking battle in a long, long time. There's Price. Brewing for him to get through the line. Short side option again. Trying to build it into the corner pretty nicely. Shulver slowly up. No number. Filbert. Sets out for Sidden left-hand side. Not taken short. They go back door instead. WA have really come in tight around the tackle though. Big opportunity wide. They take this second last player the ball very slowly. Try pop through. Philbin just loses it on his way through. Surrendered underneath. It's going to be lost forward. English Lions turnover to the WA stateside.
Well, the defensive line held up, and well, that's a big positive for WA because well, they need something to go their way right now. They're under all sorts of pressure. Down 22 points to 10. 10 minutes into this second half. But it feels like the English well on top.
Might need to see the early kick in the set that we saw in the Chairman's game. It's risky, but English Lions wouldn't be expecting something long at the moment. Edwards getting involved early in the set now. Holding on to the arm of Danny Rouse and then trying to claim the penalty. Miller just accepting to go down, watching his right ankle still. Didn't want to drive through too much contact, but there's better pace on here. Sidden's had to absorb a lot of impact through the centre of the ground in this set. Once again, messy ruck. Trying to dice on through Talamavaro. Hasn't really run the ball too much out on iron tonight. High central kick. Needs a good chase. Miller's going to arrive late from the right-hand side. McShane lets it bounce. Chance for WA. All the way through. Corbin Daniels tries to throw it, and he's absolutely butchered it, Wooly. WA, I thought they were only half a yard out. Should have been able to get Corbin Daniels across the line with ease, you would think. And we're going to need the fuel to go and play to see where this has gone wrong. Still 12 points. The margin here.
Well, it's great scramble. Great scramble from the Community Lions. You see the goes to Daniels. The chase from no number. He goes out. The ball hits the deck off the foot of Woolley. And again, the scramble of McShane. Back live. We've seen some great defensive work there from WA. Pushing the Lions back into the in-goal. Gudgeon gets in and they drive him back in to the in-goal, so it'll be another goal line dropout. And they're in front of the kicker.
Ooh.
So a penalty. 10 out right in front.
Ed Matthews, crowd's getting pretty loud. Actually, we're probably not going to get time here. Sorry, Ed. I'll wait to come back to you. Thought we had the ball missing. Gudgeon, centre of the ground. Fry. Lots of communication out on the right-hand side. Delane Edwards has got all his troops. When does he pull the trigger? Goes himself on the first occasion. Happy to surrender underneath. McShane just circles around his marker. Penalty, second man in. Delane Edwards goes quickly. Should try win the one-on-one. Late bump will be fine. Edwards will milk, but it's first tackle of the set and he knows he's got to play with. Officially does get a time off now, so he will take a few extra seconds. But I know he's going to get up and play this ball at any moment's notice. Nothing really in this. Does get contacted high by Siddons, but it's nothing too malicious at all. Taumea. They've rolled back to about 12 out from the line, WA. Fry. Coming up on 15 minutes gone in this second half. WA still yet to answer back after conceding late. Can get up and play quickly here, White. Little jabber on through. It's a little bit too deep for them all. Runs out past Luke David Wells, Talamavaro. And the English Lions get another ball in hand chance to get out of this red zone.
Yeah, just the polish at the end of it there from Luke Wells. Talamavaro just put way too much on that. Goes into the fence. And now England will come back to the 20-metre line with a 7-tackle set. They'll camp down that end for a little while, WA, but never really looked like going across. Now they work out of their own end. Taking it up to the 30-metre line, centre field. Western Australia trying to stay on top of them. Moore plays the ball. They go across to McShane, who looks like he's on as a running forward now, with Holgate remaining in the dummy half roll. Rouse tips that on to Shulver. I think he's been close to the best on the field, Benny Shulver. They'll get to the kick. Just inside their half and happy to put that one into touch over the head of Gray. Carrying on like they think it was inside the 40, but it wasn't. It'll be a WA play the ball.
I think that's just good celebration of success. Good set, good kick. And WA haven't been afraid to make an error in this end of the ground, so good chance to get another one here. They were not ready to play the ball yet.
He was just a little off the mark. He was a little forward of where he was supposed to play it. So sent back to have another go. There's Woolley. Takes that first carry. Wells Talamavayo into dummy half. And NWA a little frustrated with how long the English have been allowed to spend in the ruck. They're controlling that area of the game, and the second one they do get the penalty. And the referee's going to call the captain out and give that final warning. Sin bin will be next.
Might get Ed down on sideline. We saw this in the game on Thursday night, Ed, and now we're finally seeing in game number 2 the referee just having enough of that controlling ruck speed.
I think they were penalised for it last time, but it had that negative effect on WA's attitude that it was worthwhile. The boys have been a bit more composed. We've given a few silly ones away. Obviously, Jalen Graves involved in 2. But yeah, it's just a matter of being composed and keep actually punishing them for penalties. WA don't do that. It's all for nothing in England. Just keep rolling with it. The guy with no number is Don Weir. I think his shirt must have torn. So it's the same guy who was there before in the halves.
Set again, just over the halfway line. Talamaveo looking to be a little more active here. Playing from the base of each tackle. Left-hand side of the ground. Dwayne Butler gets a chance. Hard running late in this game from him expected. Fry available on the inside. Not done with him yet. Instead, they shift left and could go again here, actually. There's a good chance down the short side, except right over the mark. Took an extra 2, 3, 4 metres. Unnecessary. They had the pace on the play ready to fire, Donny.
I think he's just been sent back to the mark to play the ball here, Taumea. Wells Talamavayo now. They'll have to set up again. So it just allows the English defensive line to get reset. So Butler goes to the middle. Now Edwards. Edwards is going to bomb to a corner. There's going to be a contest. It's allowed to bounce. Gudgeon flicks that ball inside to Gray. He puts the kick into the in goal. The chase from WA is not good enough. And now beating players here is Parkinson. WA eventually get him to the ground, and looks like he's come up with an issue here, Connor Parkinson.
Well, he had a smile on his face as he started the run. He thought he had a half a chance at a gap there, and it's immediately wiped off his own face.
It does look like they might have done what you've asked for there, Nick, in terms of Bailey Miller. Looks like he might have gone back to fullback with Gudgeon on the wing.
I think it's fair. In attack, still allow Gudgeon license to move and play the ball, but defensively, and just while you're on that turn of play, you need Bailey Miller at the back there. He's just a bit safer at the moment. So on the replay here, there's actually an accidental knee to the back of the neck on Parkinson. Just on that second player in. I'm not sure from WA who it was coming in late.
We're getting a big punch with it. He wants it to play with a bit more shape as well. Still nothing else changes. Yeah, it's easy to defend and throw blanket over them.
If you can't tell, that's the English water boy in our sound effects, Mark. Wouldn't guess how we'd know.
Oh, you never know. It could be Johnny Hoff over on the Western Australian sideline. But now the English working it out of their own end. Have controlled things for the most part. No change to the halftime score. Still 22 points to 10. The Lions leading Western Australia. Holgate out a dummy half. He thought he caught the markers not square. He still bounces away from the marker anyway, despite not getting the penalty he was after. Rouse gets hit after he kicked it. And the referee says that was late. And it's going to be a penalty where the ball landed. And they're going to kick off again here.
Yeah, don't know if you want to watch the replay or watch what's happening live on the field. It's very late. Not too egregious, but it's a solid late piece of contact. And putting the drinks at OBH on hold for after this game, Donny, at the moment. I know it's a Tuesday, but there would have been soft plans between these two teams that are probably getting thinner by the moment.
Well, I tell you, they've really tried to just knock Danny Rouse over every chance they've got. Whether he's got the ball or not, they are trying to put the hurt on Danny Rouse and just make him think twice about going to the line. They look to me like they've gone a bit far here. The key with this is going to be where is the contact on Danny Rouse. If it's high, then this could just about be a send-off.
Well, they don't have the fortune of replay like us here. Go super slow-mo this time. Rouse kicks there, so he's got another 2 metres till impact.
It doesn't
look
look
high.
It's not high, no.
It's just firm.
Yeah.
It's firm.
Yeah, and again, that is a super slow-mo replay. It's not even that late. He's just getting through. There's no arms in the tackle, though, so, I mean, in the modern game, I guess that's got to be a penalty, but it is heavy contact on the English number 7.
Ed, down their sideline. Did you hear that one live, or were you distracted by the kick?
No, I was stood next to the English when it happened, so they are absolutely livid with it. They're all calling for the send-off, but obviously I think that's more they feel like it's targeting their talented half as opposed to what they've actually seen on the field. I did have a little look over someone's shoulder at the replay, so yeah, it looked just late, not much more there.
Oh, fair enough. Danny Rouse, I mean, he's had a very good tour. Accurate with the boot. He really is an active player around the park, not afraid to go underneath if there's a big defender that's shot up a bit high. It's a targeted play and shows that little bit of desperation that WA, well, they do want to win this. They do want to come back in this game. It's going to be a big 20 minutes to end. Referee's final decision.
It's 10 in the bin.
There's 10 in the bin for as late as it is. Delane Edwards says shake it off, Kanoa. So there you go. Bailey Miller will be fullback for the rest of this game, you would assume. Probably just to stop anything else kicking off. So the next 10 minutes, WA down a man. Another full complement for the final 10. But they're going to have to make inroads before then, you'd think, to get back in this one. 12 points still the margin. The English Lions are going to get some very advanced field position here.
Well, this next set could be interesting. Jacob Moore is just going to tap and go towards the middle. It's put down by Fry and Smith. McShane into dummy half. Siddons. A little bit of a goosey there from Siddons. Love it from the big fella.
Hammies were tight.
He just couldn't bend the legs, you reckon?
Oh, there's no bend in the goose, but he didn't have much else. McShane can't get through. Just a little lift of the leg by Gray on the far side to stop the momentum. Good setup here, the English Lions. Shulver really direct in front of goal. Got turned over through contact though. Takes a little bit of pace out of this. Rouse behind, goes the extra and slots it over easy as you like. Referee in perfect position. Scott Spittle's underneath the sticks. 10-13, that's a great extra point.
Absolutely. The best time to do these is when no one's expecting it. No pressure, 10 out right in front. That's putting practice, really. I mean, just knocks that one over. You'll do that every day of the week. 23 points to 10. They go out to a 13-point margin, and that might be just the 1 point to break WA down to 12 men. Now they have to score at least 3 times.
I think if there's one thing we've learnt on this tour is just how advanced game management this English side is. They've come with multiple ways to control a game of rugby league, and it's really showed Delane Edwards and the rest of the WA boys. There's a lot more to this game at the moment at this level now, where they've really got to start focusing on 4 or 5 1%ers that are outside of the control of normal footy.
It's funny, isn't it? I thought the first game, the Chairman's 13s game, they got out-coached, particularly in the first half of that game. They got out-coached. The early kicking from the Chairman's 13 just caught England off guard. But since then, they've been very tactically, they've been very good.
It's amazing to watch. I mean, you don't know what the level of rugby is going to be sometimes on these touring sides, and not only do they play smartly, trying to fall on through. Fry again. Saw a loose couple carries through the centre of the ground. Now, Wells Talamavao goes on the outside shoulder. Talmia tries to get through a couple, brought down by the neck of the shoulder. Lewis Price eventually gets the tackle made. Short side, they've got a good lick of speed on. WA, they're set up right in front now. They're a man down, so it's going to have to come from a good piece of running line. Flat ball available, not taken in the end by White. Last, where's the option? Have to find a key runner. England have shot up. Miller's going to have to grub her in for himself. Gets in goal and swatted away at the last moment by Jacob Moore.
Look, it was shadowing that one more, and the weight was good from Bailey Miller. Forced him to have to kick it over the dead ball line.
Just don't want to find themselves lost in this last 20 minutes. In that red zone attack, WA on Thursday night, they just really defaulted to touch rugby almost, trying to shift players. Whereas this week, they've really, not again. If you combine the penalties of kickoffs and dropouts from this English Lions side, I know we just revved up their game management, but they have given away half of their restarts this tour to being offside.
Well, it's something I noticed in the first game of the tour. They were offside from just about every kickoff and got warnings on the run from the referee, but the referees have just seen enough of it. And there's a great late offload. Wells Talamavao dives for the line. McShane tries to get underneath him, but can't. And it's a try to Luke David Wells Talamavao. And where there's life, there's hope.
That's a big, big try for WA. Need to convert it, obviously, from straight in front. But look at the way he bounces that outside shoulder. Thought Craig McShane was half a sniff to keep that one in the air. Had good body position underneath. That's the spark. Need to catch these as soon as you get an English defence out of whack. Need to make sure these count. Chance to go for 16-23. Really build the last big 10 minutes here. Ed down on the sideline. This is a good chance for WA to go back to back.
Yeah, gents, it's absolutely massive that they can get points like this when you're down to 12 men. I think we did see it last week from the English side, actually. It was the subdued bench for the WA point of view, and it's happened for them there. So it's revved them up a little bit, and it's sort of mirroring the energy that's on the English bench at the moment, which I think they're going to need, that backing each other and support to get through this last bit of this game.
Kick's been pushed out to the right-hand side. Score remains 14-23. So 9 points the margin. Still 2 scores though, Donny.
Absolutely. I mean, not a great day for Gray, but worth recognising there, Keelan Tudor-Edwards, that offload. I mean, that's the reason why WA scored that try. He drew in 3 and 4 defenders before getting that pass away to Wells Talamaveo. I thought that Luke might have passed to the outside and made it a simple try, but he thought he could get there himself, and he was right. He gets across, gets WA back in with some sort of chance. I don't think the missed goal changes much in terms of the scenario.
Not because of the extra point. It's the only thing that mattered, and it forced this 2-try setup. Bailey Miller's getting a run in at the half at the moment, just while WA gets organised. Edwards wants a penalty, not given. Now Tudor-Edwards through the middle of the ground. Could have a lot to say late here. Very creative with ball in hand and on the outside. Good crash by White. Can settle this one just past halfway and send it deep, WA. There's a lot of players around the ruck. Eventually is going to be a penalty. Tap and go. Dwayne Butler wants to go pace on. Gets through. Has to beat the fullback. McShane just dumps him over with his right shoulder. Good tackling. Miller breaks to the right-hand side. Has Fry. Spins inside himself. All the key playmakers line up on the right-hand side. They don't want to go to him yet. Now Edwards tries to go through. In fact, it ends up in Delane's hands. Slowly Fry switching in. WA a big chance. Get this margin down again. Got to score 2 more times. Miller gets rid of it relatively early with the space he had. Sets up Corbin Daniels. 5th and last. Still a man down, remember. Fake the short side. Tudor-Edwards will go out to the right. Need a good run and jump at this. In fact, it's too deep. And the wing-up was not even in the postcode.
Well, not the best of kicks to finish that set of 6. And England get the free walk out to the 20-metre line. But again, holding down in the ruck, giving away the penalty. And I can tell you, every tackle before that penalty, WA was looking up at the referee, screaming for that penalty that they eventually got.
Looks like we had Andy Philbin coming to the sideline under both trainers' arms as well. It should probably be his night, relatively done, and a sigh of relief. That's one big ball runner out of the equation for WA. Still plenty of them out there, and Ben Shulver's sniffing around to get a touch of the footy. Just switched sides and got ignored again. Early little grubber on through. Miller collects nicely at the back. Just shoves one across the face. Doesn't sell anyone anything, and Jacob Moore will make a good tackle. Edwards off the dick. They're all just playing one out. Marker half went. Miller doesn't give the offload. Back on the inside to Jalen Gray. Edwards and Gray might work together short side here though. Just some really good hit-up defence. Jacob Moore once again. Been really good for England tonight. Lane Edwards surrendering. Halfway just looming. They got to go deep. Edwards sends one back left. McShane takes it nicely. Trying to find a little hole in the defence. A little bit lazy on this right-hand shoulder. And England might attack it a little bit later in this set. Parkinson with a run. He's been fresh on the sideline for a little bit. It's just this last holding period before we enter this final 8 or 9 minutes. England with 40 metres the trip. Siddons stood up nicely by WA. Holgate goes left for Rouse. Wants to release, flat ball. Had a 2-on-1 wider. Got to be careful once again. Gray always asking for something in these. And just way too slow to move at the bottom of it all is the 15 of Jared Smith.
We've got the call there from the touch judge that Smith did grab at the leg to pull him back down. So a penalty late in the count gives England a chance to put this one to sleep and to wrap up a 2-0 series win. Siddons dummies to the outside to Shoulder, but holds on to it. Now Holgate to dummy half. He scored one. Dummies one way, goes to the short ball of Jacob Moore, who puts it down. And WA let off the hook, but do they have the gas in this final 10 to come back into this game?
Yeah, it's almost time for Gudgeon, who has just come back out there, so a full complement of players for WA again. 13 on 13, 10 minutes to go. Got to get out of a dangerous field position at the moment, though. Oh, we're really through the line. Ryan Woolley just crashing up well. Biding some time for his forwards late. Gudgeon, fresh off his 10 minutes in the bin. Gets folded under 3 English Lions and slow back up. Someone needs to win a piece of contact here for WA. Even post-contact there, getting driven backwards half a yard. Early release, Tudor Edwards has had enough. Finds a hole in the defence and sends it really long. Prescott's got to chase back a fair while for this. And everyone from WA looks pretty keen to come up and make the tackle, even though they all almost slip off. Heads up play, McShane gives Parkinson.
You need to tell me, you need to be honest. You need to be honest.
Couple of English Lions, you can hear in the sound effects, Mike, there's a bit of panic at the bench there. Figuring out their subs, they know there's a couple of Thai troops out there as well. Nice little carry up for Weir. Very flat off the base, Tomlinson. Limited minutes for him tonight, but has found some good meters in the middle of the ground. Almost trying to kick from the base. Had to rush the pass out the side. Now Danny Rouse goes high off the middle of the boot. They allow it to bounce. Miller's under a lot of pressure here. Drops it. Gudgeon picks it up off the deck. Going to be adjudicated forwards off Bailey Miller. Oh, they're nervous out the back, Donny.
Well, again, it was a mix-up on the last tackle. They switched the point of the attack back to Rouse, and Rouse just had all the time in the world. No one on that side of the field came up for WA, and when he has time to hit the right place on the ball, it's a nightmare for the back three. Allowed it to bounce. It was always going to be difficult to clean up, and Miller comes up with the error, and England another chance to put a nail in this coffin. They go across to Weir. Weir turns that one underneath. Running hard and straight there, McCallum, but a mistake from McCallum. Well, there's a name we haven't said too much today. In Connor McCallum in the jersey 11.
See how keen WA keen to get on with this. It's a good tackle by Gudgeon, just forcing the ball loose. Who's going to be the spark? And about 7 minutes to go in this half. Tudor Edwards tackled pretty sweetly by McShane. Miller looks to make amends. He's going to be slow up again. He's battled a lot tonight.
All the WA players claiming that was a high shot. The trainer's out there with Bailey Miller and has been allowed to play on. Edwards gets to the outside now with Gray. Gray puts a little in and away. The defence stays with him. Smith, now he gets out of dummy half. Can he look back to Gray? He doesn't. Daniels takes the contact on 5. Wells Talamaveo gets into dummy half. Goes to Edwards. Edwards does a little jink off the left. Now a little kick over the top for himself. Needs a bounce, doesn't get one. And Kieran Prescott cleans it up.
You can just start to really feel the frustration in the WA camp. They've rarely played any two-off passing, anything to trick the defence in the middle of the sets, and you can just see when the tackles aren't slipping, they're starting to get frustrated within themselves to not win these one-on-ones. Got to stick to the task late. English Lions looking to piece up a historic series victory here in WA. McCullum continues his late work. Good early release once again by the Lions. Finds a great bit of space, and where's the referee going to stop? Just
40-20.
inside the 20. Brilliance once again. Danny Rouse kicks right up the centre of the guts. Brilliant 40-20 to once again set up a nail in the coffin, although you'd think minutes are getting that way and already in that sort of aspect on it.
Yeah, the time's starting to get against WA. They've still got to, they've still got to get at least a couple of tries. There is time enough, but just the game management from the English has been great.
Again.
A mistake, though, early in the count once again. England just unable to find that final punch.
I think they're trying to settle into a couple of these tackles early in the set and just take the time off the clock. But yeah, there's no need to dummy on the outside, no need to carry one hand there.
Ripped out there by Gray, he gets away with one. There was only one in the tackle, but ruled as a knock-on against England rather than the one-on-one strip. So now it's WA bringing it out of their own end.
Got to get two passes together at some point during this set.
Well, it's one thing the English have done really well. Every time they run the ball up, they're running in pairs. They have another option. There's none of this one-out running that we've seen from WA. There's that one, a wraparound from Delane Edwards. He looks for the contact, Delane.
Wanted to be bumped back onto the ball there, Delane. He thought he had the defender read better.
There's going to be a penalty here for Western Australia. They take the quick tap and they're off. Still a bit of chat in the background. Sheehan to dummy half. Goes across the face now to Gray. Gray looks again to put on a move. The cover defence gets over there and puts him down. Miller to dummy half. He goes to the middle with Tugger Kakabau. He looks to straighten, spins out of the McShane attempt. He's put down. Centre field, 20 out. Wells Talamaveo goes to Sheehan. Now to Kerr. Kerr fires a long pass. Woolley has to go back and clean it up. And that takes a bit of the momentum out of this set. It's on tackle 4. Gudgeon, though, tries to get the momentum back in the set. White down the sideline. One over the top to Daniels. Daniels can't come up with the ball, though. And it'll be a knock-on. Kynor Gudgeon, he's almost pulled a rabbit out of the hat.
Well, he was the one that sent the ball back down the right-hand side a couple tackles ago, and he's really been the injector all night. This time not coming off. Gave a good ball early in the set. You think this one's going to link up for Corbin Daniels. Just unable. In the end, an English Lions scramble to clear it away.
Well, the man that got across there to make an important play is Ben Sholver. Gets across on White that forced him to throw that pass inside. A bit of a speculator to Daniels.
Penalty time wasting. Refusing to pack the scrum.
Okay, well they've found a new way to give away a penalty, this English side. Three minutes remain. It goes to Edwards. Edwards tips that on to Tudor Edwards. He's dropped the ball. And another mistake from WA. And the English side, well, let's see how quickly they pack this scrum.
Yeah, let's see if they get in. We'll find a 15th way to throw a penalty away.
There's no shot clock at this level. This is not the NRL.
The time was off as well, I actually also have to say. Time was already off, and then he's given a time wasting on packing the scrum. Looks like we just want to all go home. Really deep in their half. Just got to complete this set, you'd think, to win. the English Lions. 6 tackles that pretty much take all the time in the world off the clock that they need. Slowly, Price will get to his feet to play. Quieter for him tonight, but certainly played his role. Nice little deke down the left-hand side, trying to get on the outside shoulder of Keelan Tudor-Edwards. Not to get through the line, though, Charlie Tomlinson. Siddons will take a carry through the centre of the ground. No need to look for an outside runner. Coming up on the final minute of play in a moment. Good straightness through the centre. Ben Shulver all night. Has to be up there in your votes, Donny. Now a chance to see some kicking excellence once again. This one a jabber for space. Edwards waves away for his fullbacks to come into play. Shrugging one or two off. Nowhere through the line for Gray. Needs to stay in now. Miller props up on the outside shoulder to do just that. Edwards fills in at half, and they're very lackluster on the outside. Nothing set up yet early in the set. Wells Talamavio. Gudgeon at these ankles, couldn't hold on. England keep it alive. The captain Siddons might just seal this one off late in the piece. In the final minute of the game, Kanoa Gudgeon leaves it behind, and the captain Siddons will not get a try. Will come all the way back. Donny didn't believe it for a second.
I think he was tackled and then threw it off the ground, but they'll probably play the first knock on against WA, I'd imagine, rather than the pass off the ground. So it'll be an English scrum feed. Well, the captain Siddons scoring a try, that would have been a great way for them to finish the, well, let's say the proper rugby league before the Nines fun on Sunday, well, all weekend. The Harmony Nines this weekend, so looking forward to that. And it will be a penalty to WA as once again tempers fray a little bit. They come together. They gather round. I think they're just putting the dinner plans back on after they were cancelled by Nick earlier in this half.
I think they've come back together. Would have seen a bit more action late in this piece if drinks are really cancelled. I think they're making sure it's all right. Siren will sound.
And there it is. You see the celebrations from this English side. This meant something to them. And they've come away winning 2 games. Both games in this series. And we were talking pre-game as to who wins the series if it ends up 1-1. Well, I can tell you that doesn't matter because the English have won this one 2-0. Far too good here today. A really composed, professional performance, 23-14. An unusual scoreline, unusual 4-1 scoreline in the second half. But the Lions, they did enough in that 10-minute period just before half-time to score the victory.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the biggest reflection point at WA is twice leading into half-time. They've really just conceded, especially on Thursday night last week when England were down 2 men and still managed to score 2 tries. It'll be a telling part to come out of this for them, just to pay attention in those late parts of the half. But this English Community Lions side, well, we had our question marks, Donny, during that warm-up game against the Chairman's 13. And once they got through that first couple of minutes and shook all it off, I mean, everywhere across the list, through both McShane's, through Rouse and Prescott and Price and Shulver, they've brought out a pretty good squad, and it shows a lot of strength from a team that's come a long way.
Absolutely. I mean, they haven't come over here just to party and have a good time, which, again, you can see from touring sides from time to time. They're a fair income rugby league team, and you can see, I mean, the looks on their faces are priceless. I mean, these are memories that will last a lifetime for these blokes coming to Western Australia and getting 2 very, very good wins against a WA side that's fairly well stacked. I mean, it's a good team that they've beaten here tonight, and WA, it meant something to them too. I mean, they really threw everything they had into this game, and it was a couple of lapses in concentration and just the added professionalism I think that the English side have brought to this game that have allowed them to be victorious, and deservedly so.
Yeah, Coach Paul Couch has got to be commended for the tour side he's put together and the staff that he's brought out with him. They're a very involved unit during the actual minutes of play, and there's a lot of communication which normally you wouldn't see from a lot of sides, especially a touring one that don't know each other so well. But this team really seems to get along and really seems to believe in the system that they're playing with. We're just waiting on Ed Dowd on the sideline to grab us a little interview. The English Lions, they're hard to get in front of the camera, but we do want them to say hello to all you fans back home watching on YouTube. Just as a reminder, on the weekend, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, the Harmony Nines are coming up here in WA, one of the best cultural festivals you will ever see in the community of rugby league, down at Lark Hill Sporting Complex, and we'll be live all Sunday afternoon, starting off in the wee hours of the morning with Dave McRae taking on the juniors, and then myself, Donnie Bell, and a few others in a cast of thousands will be joining you for what is going to be the Harmony Nines on Sunday afternoon, all afternoon. It's going to be live on YouTube and available after the fact on SBS, I believe, producer Dave. Producer Dave, live SBS. And all of you English viewers can watch it on YouTube. That's exactly how we're going to play it. It's a content block for you in Australia. Go watch it on SBS. I mean, Ed, do we have you down on the sideline with anyone there? I can't see you at the moment. I'm getting a wave off there as well. Apologies. Donnie, on to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully we do get an opportunity, as you said, to hear from one of these English players. I know that there's a lot of the English back home that have been watching on YouTube, and they'd love to hear from one of the players that's helped them bring home this 2-0 series victory. Just some, I mean, you mentioned some of the really good performers. I thought Denny Rouse, the way he managed that second half, he was outstanding. Ben Shulver, I mean, we mentioned his name a number of times during the call. Captain Chris Siddons, I mean, again, another player that's been absolutely outstanding for them. His work rate, his motor through the middle, and that whole Hunslet connection as well through this English side. I mean, they won the premiership back home, and I think there's 5 or 6 of them in this squad, this touring squad, and I think that's another factor that's been really important for them. A great win for the English side. The WA though, I mean, they certainly had some decent performers. I thought Brendan White was really good for WA here today. He was one of their best, and there was a number of blokes that tried really hard. I thought Luke David Wells, Talamavao, really dug in and gave his all. Tommy Fry was there all the time, trying to fire the boys up and up the intensity and keep that going and keep us going towards victory. But it just wasn't enough there in the end.
Looks like we're almost ready to present the awards down in the middle. The Cash Converters Cup that will go to the English Lions. Peter Cummins to present out there with John Saxon, and this is Caleb Reedy getting us underway.
Obviously, it's the final game of our 2-game test match series. A ripper. Hello. Yeah. A ripper of a game with both sides putting in to the very end. I would like to have a big round of applause for the North Beach Rugby League Club for everything they've done over the last 2 weeks. And while we have a presentation to get through, I would like to acknowledge our referees. So I have got Peter Cummins, the chairman of Cash Converters, Bob Cronin, the chairman of ARLCWA Limited, and the general manager of NRLWA, John Saxon, to present the medals and look good in the photos. So, can I get you guys in the middle and the referees to come up? Scott Spittles, Jariah Gedwan, Alex Maggio, our interchange officials, Colin Lawrence and Paul Lawrence, and our in-goal officials, Joseph Fullerton and Bailey Hill Lawrence. Big round of applause for our referees one more time. Wouldn't have a game without them. All right, I'd like to invite up the coach of the WA men's team, the the WA Player of the Game.
Thanks for everyone who turned up for us tonight on this breezy Tuesday night, breezy Tuesday evening. Going to put in the performance for our home crowd that we would have liked to. There's some sorry souls on my right here, but we have to give our full the touring English side who out-completed us in both games, showed really great discipline, stuck behind their sets and run away with both games. We just couldn't stay in the grind with this. You just completed us by at least 50% in both games. So good on you boys, very well disciplined. We don't get to do it, but I hope you guys have a really good night here. Spend some money over at Dev's Bar, help them out again. And enjoy your guys' night, and we'll see you come night. Sorry, our player of the game. Very hard when I'm up there breathing myself, but I think it was he showed courage and effort from the start of the game all the way to the end, and was chancing his hand right to the end, and that was killing.
Thank you very much. Now I'd like to invite up the coach of the England Community Alliance from Loch Lane, Paul Couch.
First of all, I'd like to repeat what's been said. I'd like to repeat what's been said already. Thank you very much for coming out and watching tonight. It's much appreciated. And them guys who have travelled from England to come and support these players, it doesn't go unnoticed. And we have you. Is that first time it's back? We have you supporters. You give these guys an extra lift, so thank you very much for travelling over.
Like a singer? Yeah.
We knew it was going to be a tough game this afternoon, particularly when you didn't put your team out this morning, but we had a good idea there'd be a few changes, so but I think our guys stuck at it. We stuck at the challenge, and we knew we were going to be physical, and I think we stood up to that. So, but guys, absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for the experience. Thank you to WA for the experience. It's been fantastic. Boys, thank you very much. It's hard to pick a man of match tonight. I thought Chris Siddon's doing 80 minutes, outstanding up front. Danny Rouse just controlled everything again tonight, but I thought this lad, he just went at another level for us today, and me and Steve stood over there, and we both said the same play at the same time, and that's Ben Shoulder.
From the England Community Alliance to collect the Cash and Girders Community Trophy. Get up, boys, get up. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause to the England Community Alliance.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap for the Cash Converters Cup. This 2 international test series between WA and the English Community Lions ends in a 2-0 win to England, who are more than wrapped and will be joining us this weekend for the Harmony Nines down in Bibra Lake, or Lakelands, whatever you call it. Sorry for getting it late. The home of the Rockingham Sharks. Look it up. get yourself down for the best cultural festival in rugby league in WA. It'll be happening Friday, Saturday, and we'll be live all Sunday on SBS. And for you UK viewers looking to get a look at your English Lions in that series, you'll be able to get it on YouTube. Donny Bell, Nick Neary and Ed down on the sideline. We all say thank you very much, as well as the team at LMSC. We'll roll you out with some highlights and leave you with this grand English victory in 2024.